Welcome to the After the Show Movie Podcast, brought to you by your hosts, Ascully and Cidtalk. We're addicted to movies. Are you? Hello, Cidtalk. Welcome to Saturday afternoon.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I am fine.
You sound like a zombie.
No, that's not. You know zombies who talk?
Yes.
I'm thinking like I am an AI, in quotation marks, robot wife.
Like a lazy AI robot.
And I haven't learned all the things yet of how to perform.
Right.
I don't know why that occurred to me. I am fine. You're right. This is Saturday. It's very hot and I'm sweaty. I'm sure everyone loves to hear that.
When you're hot and sweaty, you bring more intensity to the podcast.
I don't think so. I think one of the most boring topics on the whole fucking planet is weather. And here I am saying it. So I am one of the most boring people on the planet.
Correct.
I'm embracing it now.
Yeah.
But you know what else I was thinking? I can't wait till later this evening or this afternoon when I can go in and watch a couple of Forensic Files or The World's Most Evil Killers. I'm kind of on a kick lately. I don't know what that says about me. But I'm playing solitaire, thinking about that, doing a podcast, watching my Facebook. I am multitasking, also drinking beverages and sweating. So there you go.
Don't know what was more boring, the weather or the description of what you were doing.
All of that was the before the after the show happenings.
All right. It is Saturday, June the 15th. Is that correct? Yeah, that's correct.
Congratulations.
Yeah. You can only be right, 50% of the time. And today I'm right. It's After the Show, number 843. We're a movie review podcast. Every week we look at a new movie. This week we're looking at the movie Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. It's a 2024 release. Out now, rated PG-13 from our friends at Sony who sent us a copy for review. Cidtalk, can you give us the synopsis of the movie Ghostbusters Frozen Empire?
Ghostbusters with no frozen empire. That's my synopsis. We are pursuing yet another entity that wants to take over this planet for some weird reason in a spiritual, weird, frozen way, but there's no actual empire, so that is the movie.
I'll give you the one off the box.
Okay.
The Ghostbusters quit ghostbusting and open an ice cream shop.
That's not correct.
No, I made that one
Are you
up.
testing me to see if I'm listening or if I'm playing solitaire?
I'll give you the real one. When the discovery of an ancient artifact unleashes an evil force, Ghostbusters, new and old, must join forces to protect their home and save the world from the second ice age. Wouldn't it be more than the second ice age?
I don't know.
I think if you look into how many ice ages there were, there's definitely been more than one.
What are you, a paleontologist?
Yes.
Icist? I don't know what a person is who studies ice ages. Not a paleontologist, sorry.
So this is the second film in the new Ghostbusters trilogy, we're saying. Even though they haven't announced a third one, it's quite clear there will be, right?
It feels like it's got that vibe.
And the first one was called Afterlife, and I really loved the first one. I thought it was an exceptional new entry into the series. It had everything I wanted.
Yeah, it's like a origin story, but not.
Yeah, and it was very fun and I think it made like you shed a tear at the end.
It was sweet.
Sweet, yes. So what did you think of the new movie, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire?
Well, here's the deal. When you're talking about that one and the recapturing of the thing, right? The feelings, the memories. And so we're attaching it definitely to our memories of watching Ghostbusters, at least 1 and 2 in the past, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you can capture that more than once. And then when you try to sort of either like continue it or redo it, you know what I mean? Like clear the palette and then start again with some more sweetness and familyness and memories. It's basically like you rewound and did it again. And so I really enjoyed this movie. It was a lot of fun. But that thing, that little spark of, it's like you're grasping for it. Even though everybody's fun, everybody does a good job. It's got really cute moments. It has, relationship stuff where, that sort of takes hierarchy over everything yet again, personal relationships and trust and personal accountability and all that kind of stuff. It's all mushed in there. And it looks good. The special effects are excellent.
They tried to step up the odds tried to, let me say.
Yeah, that also always bothers me in any catastrophic movie where I don't feel like we're at that big of a threat.
No. This one actually, while the threat is huge, I never for once felt like anybody was in danger.
No.
That's the problem, I think.
Also, everybody got frozen.
Yeah.
And then everybody was fine.
Yeah.
Now, if you're pulling a Dante's Peak or what's the one with the big tidal wave or volcano, where a volcano comes in the middle of Los Angeles and kills millions of people, they're actually killing millions of people. So I understand you want to be sweet about it, but if everybody got frozen in New York City, like in this movie, I'm not sure how we're resolving that they didn't all die.
Basically, the casualties in this movie are some of the buildings are damaged.
Buildings are damaged.
Yeah.
The ghosts get recaptured.
I mean, it's literally like, oh, look, New York's got some damaged buildings.
It is. And that's unfortunate because I want to feel the danger. And I don't know how to do that and be sweet and nice at the same time.
I feel like the trailer to this movie, which showed you the ice approaching and all the people on the beach, and then cut away from it and said Ghostbusters, I think that did a better job of making it seem like there was peril. Unattached from the rest of the film, that feels perilous. When you attach it to the film and you're like, well, everybody's going to be all right.
Everybody's fine.
Because we'll just go up on a roof and figure it out or whatever, you know?
So here I am talking about wanting to go watch some serial killer shows or murder shows, Forensic Files and all that kind of stuff. And here we are saying, this isn't bad enough, right? It's not harsh enough. What's wrong with us?
I mean, it's Ghostbusters at the end of the day.
True.
It's supposed to be a comedy and it's supposed to be fun.
They never do talk about casualties in any of the movies to my recollection. So maybe I'm just missing.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just really hardcore.
Yeah.
You've
watched too much The Boys this week.
Oh, The Boys will push you to the edge.
Yeah. So I liked it, but it did feel like it was
soft.
I would describe it as like, it's just back on the treadmill.
Yeah.
I'm back on the treadmill. Oh, look, here's all the things I like in Ghostbusters.
Which is pleasant.
Yeah.
It's very pleasant. And maybe, is that a new vibe that everybody likes? Like, don't upset me too much and don't.
When they got the Ecto 1 out in the streets and they were running around in it and stuff, I was like, yeah, Ghostbusters. And, we're back in New York City. It's not in the countryside like the first one. It's full on Ghostbusters. We're running around, made
But that
me
was
smile.
for like 5 minutes and then that never happened again.
No, it didn't. I mean, occasionally it cut to them in the car going to somewhere else, but it was nothing going on, was there?
Mm-mm.
That was fun. And, you get to see the traps and the firehouse, and there's nothing really like tugging at your heartstrings this time.
I mean, there's the theme of course, we now have our lady and dude who've been Ant-Man and his woman here who've been together for a while, building a relationship, and sort of the dynamic of whether he's not married to her, so he's not the stepfather, and he's
family.
Family doesn't have like the authority to come down on the kids for having a bad attitude, and they kind of discuss that. And then there's the girl who's being pushed aside because she's too young to be a Ghostbuster, and now she's seeking friendship with a ghost. And so those are all nice things. I mean, I appreciate all of that and growth and people, confronting feelings, but it wasn't sharp enough. And maybe I'm just old and crotchety now.
And it did all the things, played the Ghostbusters tune. It did all the things you expect.
That didn't do anything for me at all. I was surprised. I was like, yeah, of course they're going to play Ghostbusters.
Yeah, well, I mean, how many times have you heard that song at this point?
In my life?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Probably every day on 80s on 8.
I don't know. Possibly.
I often turn 80s on 8 on when I'm cooking on Sirius XM, and yeah, I swear I hear it every time. I mean, it is a giant hit, isn't it?
So everything we're saying pretty much points to us just being old.
Well, I was surprised
we're jaded. We have no sentimentality left.
Like, I would give the Ghostbusters Afterlife, and I think I might have done a 9 out of 10, right? Yeah, I thought it was like the ideal, like, here's how you bring Ghostbusters back.
Mm.
It's a really good way of doing it. There was some nods to the old thing, but we're establishing this new thing, and it worked really well. I was emotionally, the whole thing was cool. I was expecting it again. I was thinking, well, maybe they'll pull it off, but in like a sequel way.
But how would you do that if you've already done it? See, that's the problem.
I don't know. That's why I was like...
Your expectation of repeating the same thing is kind of what they're doing.
Yeah, they introduced like a new plot here and some new characters as well.
We haven't even talked about the plot.
Yeah. Well, we have about the Frozen now.
Yeah, the guy's coming back to freeze everything.
Yes.
He's ancient, and someone's been protecting, keeping him in a little brass ball. And
it so happens that the firehouse is important.
they don't fully explain that either. They just say it's the center of the thing, and then that's it.
Yeah, it's like, it's not an accident we were in this firehouse. It's the most... And then they explain.
Yes.
It's got ghosts and stuff.
And then there's like wink, wink. You get what we're saying. Yeah. We don't have to explain it to you.
That's why we're here. It's not just random. It's not the only thing we could afford, like we said in the old movies.
But you can fill in the whole rest of the story yourself.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah. And there's good special effects. Like you say, the ghosts are good.
Very good this time. Like, very good. I was impressed.
You have your old friends, Slimer and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
I can get rid of Slimer. I think it's really dumb to put him in there the way they did. Like, he's just in the attic.
Stupid.
Nobody cares. I think it is stupid.
I mean, he's stupid. It's like he's like... I'm
not going to judge him himself. He's a fine character. But, I mean, there's nothing there other than dangling nostalgia.
It's like... when we saw Slimer, I'm like, he's going to slime somebody, isn't he? Oh, look, he slimed somebody.
Yeah, but he didn't say he slimed me. So that was good. Well, I was impressed.
That's such restraint they're showing. I mean,
we sound like we didn't like this.
I'm really middle of the road with it. I think if you're a fan of Ghostbusters, there's a lot there. There's a lot of nods to Ghostbusters going on.
I like her parenting style. So I love that about it. Her character is awesome.
I just think that because the first one was so strong, this could never live up to it.
Oh, see, that's a problem then, isn't it? Comparisons.
It is. So maybe you have to make your first movie not that good.
Yeah, ease everybody in. Make it sort of, in the 7.5 range. And then be like, trust us, the next one's going to kick ass.
Yeah, the middle one's where it gets good. You could put that on the poster too. This is just to ease you in. The middle one is where it gets good.
And then the last one you just have to watch because of completist. You have to be a completist. Yes. I love this ad campaign.
This movie just suffers from that. It had a great opening, and then this feels a bit mediocre compared, and then maybe they can pull it back with the third one. Maybe the third one will be amazing. I don't know. But this one introduces... It tries to tug at your heartstrings. Oh, look, here's Bill Murray. Here's Ernie Hudson. That kind of thing. But I didn't really feel much when they turned up.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, look, the old guys.
I didn't either. In fact, I was like, you know what? I am learning about myself as a person. I like nostalgia. Obviously, listen to 80s music all the time. I'm from the 80s. I was born in the 60s, growing up in the 80s. I like memories. I love family history, all that stuff. I'm attached. There's threads attaching me to my past, but I also am a disposable person. I like to okay, that's done. I want something new. Okay, that's done. Let's build on that, something brand new. Let's move on. Let's cut the ties. I don't need the nostalgia. Even in the last one, I didn't need them to come back.
Right.
The fact that these kids are of the family and all that's enough of a thread for me, and it's enough new. It's like a good balance. Shoving them in my face when none of them were fully committed to their roles. Let's be very honest. They're the only ones who are sort of like, yeah, you're giving us a bunch of money because we're the Ghostbusters and we're here. And
I felt like Ernie Hudson kind of committed.
He did. He was more enthusiastic for sure. Everybody else was like, blah, 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 ha, ha. Wink, wink. I'm an original Ghostbuster.
Right. I don't think they're actually, yes, it's about the Ghostbusters, but I don't think the elderly Ghostbusters, if we're making a third one, are even needed. I don't think you should have them. I think you should just have the new people and have them have a proper Ghostbusters adventure without relying on nostalgia. You think?
I mean, you're telling the wrong person.
But I mean, that's how I would go, because at this point, we don't need to see Bill Murray put the suit on again.
You don't, no. But other people might.
Maybe. I mean,
to tell a good story, we may not need those characters. I get that. But if you write a really good story, that includes them in a meaningful way, that pushes the story along, beginning, middle, end, there's an arc, everybody's got a thing, there's a challenge to overcome and all that. And they're part of it, not just Flair stuck on the vest in the restaurant of, Office Space when she has to wear Flair on her outfit. That's how it feels. If you incorporate them fully, I think what you're saying about the first new one is that we're slowly unfolding that we have threaded them in, as in, here are his children, his daughter, his grandchildren, the one who passed away, Harold Ramis's character, right?
Yeah.
That is just enough of like folding all that in there, but also we're going to bloom into something brand new. I was good with that.
Yeah.
It was meaningful and it mattered to get everything going again, because we are now, every time in both movies, someone has said that there is increased paranormal activity in the world. So we're approaching something really big, right? That's why you think it's a trifecta of movies here.
Definitely.
So we're bringing all that back. And if these elderly characters, as you like to call them, which I wouldn't call them that because they're probably about 20 years older than me.
Senior Ghostbusters.
If they matter in the actual story and get gobbled up in the story, like for real, then I'm all for it.
Well, yeah, you should write it. All right, let's get on to the cast. Paul Rudd plays Gary Gruberson. What do you think of Paul? I mean, he's just being Paul Rudd, right?
I would say, yeah. And I don't mind Paul Rudd. I mean, he's funny. He's sweet. He has
fun.
Yeah. And it's kind of just, yeah.
He fits in this.
He fits perfectly. At least how he does it is perfect.
Carrie Coon plays Callie Spengler. I mean, we met these characters in the other movie. I'm a big fan of her.
I feel like they both, I mean, he had more to say and do because of the relationship between her children and him, right? A little more like feeding that. She kind of took a back step. I think he sort of like they were opening the door to the young people being more
in charge of the show. Yeah. But she is awesome. One of my recommendations this week will show you how awesome she is. Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things is Trevor Spengler. What do you think?
I feel like he was tagged on, and I know he was in the other one, but I mean, we're not utilizing him. He's 18 years old.
He's just kind of wandering
around. They're not letting him drive. He's kind of whiny about being treated like an adult, but then when he wants something taken care of, he calls for his mom, like, which is fine. But it was very unless the next one, if they do another one, is more focused. This one was focused on the young lady, and this one, the next one maybe could be more about.
Talking of the young lady, McKenna Grace plays Phoebe Spengler. She was one of my favorite things of the first one and also on this one. I think she's a really good character. I would have a whole movie based just around her because she is a really fun character, and they give her like a thing in this movie I liked it. There's a side story, like kind of in there with her.
It's not really the side story. It's one of the main themes that pushes the story forward is her relationship with the ghost teenager. So that's a big deal.
I kind of liked it. It was cool and like unexpected. When you first see her playing chess in the park, I was like, whoa, you know? We've got Bill Murray as Peter Venkman, Dan Aykroyd as Ray Stantz, Ernie Hudson as Winston Zedmore, and Annie Potts as Janine Meltz. What do you think?
Neutral. I'm just neutral. I have to be honest. I mean, maybe I'm just over it, but I'm neutral.
Do you like Annie Potts?
She's fine.
I think they underutilized her.
I'm not sure if they underutilized her.
If you think about how many scenes she had actually where she was speaking.
Yeah, but why was that underutilized? What's the point of her character?
I don't know. I'm fond of her and I just wanted to say more.
Right, but it needs to have something to do with the story, yet again, to add to the whole of it. And unless she's going to be one of the people saving the world or causing the world to be in danger. Like those are the two main themes of characters, basically. Yeah. Someone screws up and causes something terrible to happen, or someone swoops in at the last minute with a genius idea to save everybody. She's not that. She's just there as a trinket, you know?
Yeah. This is directed by Gil Keenan, who is not the guy it was Reitman who directed the first one. But this guy directed a movie called Monster House. Did you see that?
I don't remember.
I don't believe I did. So what do you think of the directing? I don't think it's much different to the first one, directing-wise.
No, I mean, it's an action movie, you know? Yeah. And we don't have any extra play. I mean, there's a lot of... The special effects are great, so I don't know if the director's vision is the one that sets the standard for, like, when he gets the dailies back and then the special effects on top and says yes, no, if he's in charge of that. And then getting people to be kind of sappy and sweet, which is fine for this particular thing, I guess. He does a fine job.
All right, IMDB reviews. What are those?
Those are reviews of movies where people give them 1 star out of 5. It's a system that's been developed culturally that matters to anybody. Like, I don't personally give a shit, but you love it when people get 1 star, when movies get 1 star, because you want to hear what these highly intelligent, very creative reviews have to say.
All right, so the first person says, boring, childish with bad CGI. The franchise goes nowhere. The first thing I noticed was the bad CGI in the opening, supposedly to quickly get you into the action. It's the worst I've seen since The Flash. The plot, script, and dialogue are even worse, childish and unfunny.
Why did this person watch the Ghostbusters?
I don't know. Childish and unfunny. Second guy says, nothing matches the original magic of Ghostbusters. Afterlife was also terrible, and I'm shocked they came back with another film. There was no comedy, no connection. 90 minutes before a ghost was actually busted.
Let's ask this question. If the first one disappointed you so badly, why did you watch this one?
I have no idea. Maybe they were hoping for
throwing?
more, you see.
Aye, just to write a review, I reckon.
And the third guy says the first few seconds of the movie held some promise, but then it went downhill with the usual predictable stupidness and unappealing characters who have no charisma. There's also a non-credible storyline where a 15-year-old girl is going to be the one to save a whole city from a ghostly entity. It's ridiculous.
What do you have against teenage girls?
That wasn't me saying that.
I'm talking to the reviewer.
I see. He won't hear you. He won't hear you unless you leave.
Let's just listen right now.
All right, extras. We did not watch extras because we watched the streaming version, but we can give this movie a score. I'm going to give Ghostbusters Frozen Empire a 6 out of 10.
I think that's fair. 6.5. We go.
It's fun, but it's almost like a template for like what it is. Feels like they followed a template.
Yes, and our scale actually goes to 10, just in case you're wondering. We're not giving it like, woo, 6 out of 5.
No.
6.5 out of 10, which means it's above average. It's fun. It's good. It's fine. It just doesn't push through to the next level.
I would watch Ghostbusters Afterlife again because that one was really, really good. So thank you to Sony. Next week, we're going to look at the new movie Abigail. You know this one?
Is that a devil doll?
It is not.
Okay. Sounds like a devil doll. Oh, no. Annabelle is what I'm thinking of.
Abigail is from the people that brought you the movie Ready or Not. Remember that?
Ready or Not,
The Bride in the House.
Yes, yeah. Okay.
So
is that also Glass Onion?
No. That is
but
nothing
similar vibe.
Right. The Bride in the House, Bloodthirsty. It was pretty crazy. All right. Movie recommendations. One of my recommendations is not a movie, it's a TV show, but because Carrie Coon was in this movie, and I have to recommend this every time, it's The Leftovers on HBO. You can watch all the seasons because it's, how old is it? Like 10 years ago?
Oh, I don't know.
Fantastic. It's where I was introduced to Carrie Coon. I don't think I'd seen her before that. And it's just an amazing show. It's my kind of thing.
I don't think it was 10 years. You're freaking me out.
I feel like it was, at least. And my other one is McKenna Grace, who plays Phoebe in this movie. She was in a TV show called Designated Survivor. She was the president's daughter. And Designated Survivor, it's not the usual kind of show we watch. It was like a network, like week-to-week show.
Fast-paced, little episodic disaster movie. TV show.
But for some reason, it captivated me. And I really enjoyed it. It's kind of it's like off... We normally watch kind of edgy, like, stuff.
Do we really?
We don't really watch a lot of network
Let's clarify.
Shows.
We watch...
No, I mean in drama, let's say in the drama.
Okay, I just want to clarify, though, just so people know. We're not edgy. We watch The Sewing Bee, The Bake Off, the pottery shows, the cooking shows, Master Chef. I watch Bob's Burgers. We're not super edgy. We just go across the spectrum, but we don't generally watch hour-long network
CBS shows.
Yeah, well, not just CBS anymore. Everybody's got them, right? I mean, Prime and all the different networks and streaming
Except
places.
for Supergirl, which we did watch.
Well, that was more you, and I just sort of jumped along. Is that a drama? That's just like a superhero show.
Yeah, but it's got that network feel, and it's very friendly.
CW.
Yeah. But yeah, Designated Survivor and The Leftovers.
And mine? Is that what you're saying? What
Yes.
are mine? Mine are going back to the 20th century, which is 1900. That's right, kids. The 1900s to 1999. And these are action adventure movies that I've seen. And I'm not speaking to the quality at all. Just that I've seen them. I don't always remember that I've seen them, but then I look at a screenshot and I'm like, oh yeah, I watched that. I just keep a list and I don't even know why. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets and Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. 2 Harry Potter movies shoved in there.
Here's a fun fact. I've never watched a whole Harry Potter movie.
I think you watched the first one.
I didn't watch it all. I watched the beginning part. Up to the part where he gets on the train, which is probably 20 minutes.
I thought we watched it with our nephew.
Not me.
I think you were watching it. Maybe you just tuned out.
Should probably watch all of it.
I mean, they're fun. I don't dislike them at all. I don't think I've seen many more past Azkaban though. Then there's Stardust, which is like a fairy tale, almost like a Snow White / Rapunzel / Sleeping Beauty, evil stepmother, staying young, witch.
I
blah,
love
blah,
that
blah.
one, actually.
That
It's
was a good one with Michelle Pfeiffer. Peter Pan. I forget when that was, but that was the last one.
The
And it was
Disney live
It was
action.
all right.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. And Journey to the Center of the Earth I have. And that would be,
Brendan Fraser.
yeah. So it wasn't super great, but Journey to the Center of the Earth, Journey to the Center of the Earth, I'm on board if you want to remake that 500 times, because I think that's interesting, except for that one little one called The Core.
Oh, yeah. The Core we were so excited to watch The Core.
We actually were, because I like disaster movies.
We saw the trailer and we was like, whoa.
Yeah, in the trailer, they show birds falling out of the sky and earthquakes and disasters. And you're like in disaster mode back in the day. And it was like, oh, yeah. And then it just wasn't. Oh, it was unfortunate.
I thought, oh, we're going into The Core. That'll be cool. But it was so visually unappealing. It was just like being in a cave.
It was,
There was like nothing.
Yeah. It was basically Armageddon in the ground.
Yeah, but not good.
He loves Armageddon,
I do.
by the way.
It's my beloved movie. I love
It is.
It's stupid. It's very stupid, but it's very fun as well.
I don't think it's stupid.
It is. Mr. Pink from Reservoir Dogs sits on a nuclear missile and rides it while he's on the moon.
I mean, that's not stupid. It's like stupider than a lot of other things we've seen.
It's pretty stupid. Come on.
It isn't.
Also, the whole premise of it is pretty stupid.
I disagree. I don't think stupid is the fair word to use for that.
All right. I disagree. I agree to disagree. Hey, Scully stuff. What have I been playing this week? I've been playing one game, Ubisoft's The Crew Motorfest. It's the, well, they didn't call it The Crew 3, so I guess it isn't, but it is. It's the third Crew game. It's a racing game by Ubisoft.
Okay.
Ubisoft are the masters of making a big giant open world, filling it with, when you look at the map, they fill it with loads of little icons, and every little icon on the open world map is something for you to do, whether it's collect something, get a new thing, enter a race. You know, it's just like you look at the map when you first start the game and you go, whoa, that's really overwhelming. But then it's really fun to just go to each place on the map, do whatever it is you're supposed to do there, and rack up all the points and get the new cars. You know what I mean? It's like a loop of like an addictive loop.
Sounds like monotony.
It's not though. It's like something keeps drawing you. Like, oh, I want to go and see what's at that next thing. I want to investigate around that corner, see if there's a beach over there, or you know,
it's racing.
It's racing, but it's also exploration, open world. So while you're not racing, you're just driving around in your car.
Oh, that's why you like it. You love driving around a game.
Yes. So it's on the island of Hawaii, and it's the whole thing. And they've really done it in detail, so you can...
Well, there's a question. Is Truck Sim going to go to Hawaii?
It hasn't yet, but it should, right?
Truck Sim is another game that you like because you literally are just driving. There is nothing else. You're simulating driving a semi-truck.
I like the exploration element of games like that. You know, what am I going to find around this corner? Oh, look at that. That's cool. You know, and this game has that. And there's also lots of things to collect and races to go into, and it's called the Crew Motorfest. I'm playing it on PC, but it's on the consoles as well. Cidtalk, what's for dinner?
We're going to have some baked beans, toast, and roast potatoes.
Potatoes,
yeah, because I don't want to go anywhere. And so.
Nobody says that, by the way. You say potato, I say potato. Nobody says potato.
I just said it. I'm
you
somebody.
Yeah.
I count.
The song doesn't make any sense is what I'm getting at.
Oh, so it's not written by a British person.
Right.
I got you.
Yes.
I got you.
All right, Cidtalk, what is for dinner?
You just asked me and I just told you.
You did. So let me rephrase that by saying, what is your advice?
My advice, of course, is not actual advice. It's just this. It's not always fear that keeps you from doing the thing. You know what I mean? I don't need to explain it. It feels like it, but really it's mostly a reasonable assessment of all the possibilities that could happen. Yes, you might not want to fail or have something go wrong or something could be difficult or you might lose friends or you might be separating yourself from people, whatever the thing is that you want to do, like move or change your job or get a divorce or get married or have a kid or not have a kid, whatever the thing is, right? I don't think it's always fear. People say like, don't be afraid, just do it. Well, sometimes it's just assessing the possibilities of all the outcomes of choices and making a reasonable choice not to go down that route, right? I don't actually want to confront or deal with that outcome. Not from fear, just because I don't want to. I don't want to deal with that, this, that, or the other. And so all the different options you look at and see the different ways. So now I'm right. The reason I say this is because I want to start like my own sort of side business, quote unquote. I just want to be able to charge money if people want me to do artwork for them or do some face painting or different creative projects, right? Okay, I hate paperwork. I absolutely despise it. I think it's bullshit that you have to fill in tons of shit and fill in lots of stuff for the government and all this. I hate it. I hate it. It's a demotivator. It isn't fear that stops me or that might stop me. It is that the more you go into it, the more the possibilities are that I'm going to have to deal with more boring, monotonous bullshit. And I don't like it. And I don't have to do it, right? It's a bonus thing for me. I'm retired. I can or can't do it. I'm not doing it to survive. So that's a whole other thing, right? But that isn't fear of failure. I don't care about failing. I could do it and then it never comes to anything. I'll move on. I've done it many times in my life. I've had 30 some jobs and 2 husbands so far. So failure is not a problem for me. It's not fear of anything. It's like anticipating inconvenience, unnecessary stress without any real outcome. The pros and cons, I guess, don't balance out. So it isn't fear. It isn't always fear. So if someone tells you they're just being afraid to do a thing, it's not always that. Sometimes you're being very reasonable. That's it.
Well, thank you, Cidtalk.
Aye.
I'll play the music this time. Remember last week when I forgot? This week I'll play it. Ascully.com, that's the place you can go to get this podcast. Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, we're on there. I'm Ascully, she's Cidtalk. You can catch the podcast itself on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, YouTube, anywhere that podcasts are available. Email feedback to me, ascully@ascully.com. Don't email Cidtalk, she doesn't want your email. Mm-hmm. And stay classy, the Ghostbusters, ? And
I'm going to say think for yourself or someone's going to do it for you.